The Supreme Court recently heard oral arguments in a case that may result in some involuntary reforms to state civil asset forfeiture laws, making it more difficult for states to confiscate cars and houses and other property that's even tangentially used in the commission of a crime. That's kind of the state of the law right now. You commit a crime and, buddy, they're going to grab up everything they can.
Yes.
So tell me, what's developing with this? What is the Supreme Court thinking about here?
Well, it seems as if they are certainly going to side on the Institute for Justice, which is the organization that's providing an attorney for this particular individual. So This case centers around this guy named Tyson Timms of Indiana. He was busted by undercover cops for selling them $400 worth of heroin. In his punishment, he received a year of house arrest. He also received fines, and then they confiscated his $42,000 Land Rover. So the Institute for Justice is basically arguing, and did argue successfully before a state court as well as an Indiana State Appeals Court, that because this was his property, that it was a small amount that he was accused of basically selling, that it was a disproportionate, grossly disproportionate punishment to his crime. So it fell under the excessive fines ban under the Constitution's 8th Amendment. So the appeals court upheld it. A judge agreed with them initially, and the appeals court upheld it. But the Indiana State Supreme Court said, oh, no, we don't want to do that. It's property. It doesn't apply. That particular Bill of Rights section doesn't apply to states.
It clearly applies to states.
And the justices are saying that.
And there are other states that have said, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're not going to, this law, they've actually interfered with the performance of certain federal laws, even on some of this forfeiture. But I mean, this is so basic. It goes back to the Magna Carta, doesn't it?
Yes.
What was it, 1225 or something?
Yes. So way back in the day, even back to piracy, they said that some of these laws originated with dealing with, pirates confiscating property. But different laws, including, going back to England, Virginia Declaration of Rights, Neil Gorsuch even mentioned that in particular when they were arguing this case in Supreme Court. He said this is going back, that there are deep history ties that protect a person against excessive fines, and that this clearly falls under excessive fines. And they did argue against this particular Solicitor General, because he was saying, well, it's because it's property, it shouldn't apply to states, that this particular Bill of Rights part of it shouldn't be applied to states when every other part of the Bill of Rights has been incorporated.
Okay, so there's one indicator already. I mean, Gorsuch has always been in favor of just a vast amount of power in the hands of government. So now he's saying maybe we're overreaching when we use a marijuana bust of 10 ounces of marijuana to take the car and the house and the vacation home. That's how crazy this has become.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, it's so crazy that in some states there doesn't even have to be an arrest. You understand?
Yes.
They take this property even before there's an official arrest. And what ends up happening is that person has to fight their way out.
No, you're exactly right. And there was another one of the justices as well who argued the same thing. Breyer, he hypothesized for this particular Indiana State Solicitor General, saying under your argument that because it's property and doesn't apply to states, what if a driver's going 5 miles over the speed limit? They could be in a jalopy or they could be an extremely expensive car. Under your rationale and argument, that could be confiscated. And he was like, well, yeah, you're right. So anyway, it certainly looks like they're leaning.
I would expect that kind of argument out of Breyer. I don't know that I would expect a pro-victim kind of argument out of Gorsuch. But you know what? Sometimes the Supreme Court will surprise you.
You're right. Well, and they're raking in billions of dollars off these forfeitures. Yeah. So you're right. It will. They may surprise us.
Thanks for joining me, okay?
Thanks, Pap.